Hey everyone, uh, I wanted to make a quick video, maybe try and like restart my YouTube channel a little bit because it's been a bit dead in the last few months. I wanted to bring up something that I've mentioned to a few people like in talking over the years, but I thought it would be like important to bring it up, especially in this day and age where there's another layer on top of it that kind of like enforces my belief even more. So basically, let's get started with just, what my point is. So one thing I've been telling people about Hive, because for those of you who don't really know what makes Hive different from all the other chains, is that we provably give away like at least 50%. Like it depends, what stakeholders do with their votes, but usually it's like around 50% of our inflation we give them away to people, half of it in terms of author rewards and the other half in curation rewards. And like the other parts go to witnesses, block producers, to keep the chain running, to keep the blocks being produced. The other percentage goes to the DHF. I think it's 10%. And then 15% or so also goes to those who hold high power. So it's like an inflation on stake. I don't really know. I think last I checked on my stake, I get like around 20 Hive per day or high power just from holding high power. But if you're like a smaller user, it may be difficult to like notice this increase since you're getting curation rewards and author rewards potentially. All right, so my point was is that like I don't really care too much about the price. Like there's a lot of people who have like goals in mind, like I'm gonna, like I see some people nowadays who also invest. They're like, oh, Hive is at 10 cents, Hive is at 6 cents, I'm gonna invest. My goal is to 2x real quick or a 3x, and then I'm out of here, like that's their goals, and that's fine. Like they wanna just stick around for short term, just look to make a quick profit. And some of them stake their Hive during this time, like so it's more like a midterm or mid to a little bit longer, how long they're gonna keep their stake. But they're looking for, they have a price target in mind. They don't care if Hive goes to $1. They're happy with 20 cents or 30 cents because of when they got in. And in the meantime, they may wanna stake it so they can earn a little bit extra to give them an edge in getting that 2x or 3x profit or whatever. So some people, they have a price point in mind. Some don't care about price at all. They just sell it. Doesn't matter as long as it's not zero. For them, it's it's something. So they'll just take it out whenever they can. And some people try to, they try to grow their stake. They want more influence. Like that's me kind of, or has been at least for the last few years. I wish I would have, sold more when I could have, to mostly to just buy back now. But I've been wanting to use my stake for the diverse many projects I have, etc. But yeah, so my point is, like, the thing that I care about is that this chain gives people most of the inflation, and this is, like we know this. Like I'm not. It's not just me or like a few people controlling, thousands of accounts posting daily. We know these are real, unique people. Like you have people in certain regions who know about Hive a lot more than in other geolocations. Like they know that they're getting some, value from Hive compared to say Ethereum, where for most of its time you've only been able to get it if you mine it. Now you can earn some ETH if you stake it. And compared to Bitcoin, where you have to also just mine it and you can't even stake it. And most other tokens, they don't give it to people for doing like things like what people like to do, like socialize, create content, engage, consume content in some ways, share content, all the different things we have where we believe is like a legitimate way to reward people with inflation and potential other upcoming ways we haven't even thought of that may become available in the future. So that's like something that, it might be a reason why Hive is priced so low, because the economy is weird, like most people aren't doing too good in terms of their financials, and that, that gap between the rich and the poor just keeps getting bigger and bigger most of the time. So like it might be that's a reason why Hive is like lower than it should be to some people, or the overinflation we've been doing lately with the DHF, etc. But if you don't like look at the price too much, you can already tell that Hive, it works. It has a unique use case. It is rewarding people with stake, whether they choose to hold it or not. That's their prerogative. Like we can't really, like we can judge them a little bit, or maybe ignore them and not reward them. But at the end of the day, like that's how Hive is meant to be. Like you if you don't want to participate in its long-term success, or like get some extra rewards for holding a lot of it, then it's your decision. And so I wanted to bring up something to compare it with a little bit, because I think in many cases Reddit is a lot like Hive, where they have like subreddits compared to our communities. People can remain anonymous if they choose to, even though there's been some weird things going on lately where the governments are asking platforms like Reddit to give away who the users are, especially if they're posting something about certain things that they don't like, which I'm against, of course. But so people here also can remain anonymous, and like I'm just picking up like a random post here. It's not relevant to what I'm talking. Of course, all the top posts are political now because of everything happening in the world. But let's just bring up this example here. Of course, there's ads as well. So, okay. So this is like a random post, asking the subreddit is about like asking open-ended questions where you may get like a lot of engagement going, and then people, they reply to the comments, to the questions. They mostly, it always usually depends on when you reply, because curators, they are kind of lazy sometimes. They just look into the first 3-4 couple comments and upvote whichever one they like, and then they don't look that much deeper because it becomes a lot. And like, so the timing, as you can see, often favors the early over the ones who come in later. But my point is, like, look at all these users who are like this thread here has 6,500 comments. So like imagine all that activity that has been spent to consume engagements going on here, to create engagement, to like everything, all the value that happens here in terms of brain power. Like the only thing the users get out of this is some imaginary karma points that just prove to you that you've been that you've been active. Like if you go to my profile here, we can see that I have 160,000 karma, and like what do I do with that? Nothing. Like it's it doesn't prove anything. People can buy accounts. They're like black markets that sell accounts. They're black markets that help like give you upvotes and things like that, give you karma. So what is my point? It's like even if, as I mentioned earlier, even if Hive doesn't go anywhere, like my in terms of price, like if it doesn't go too high, like I'm okay as long as it keeps growing, because that's like what, like Reddit is one of my favorite websites, and it's because of the people. Like most of my karma that I received is from engagement. So you can tell that, the thing I like doing the most is engaging with people, like replying to threads like these, replying to someone replying to me, getting the, making some fun comments, maybe some, maybe some serious comments now and then, if it's something I'm passionate to talk about, or maybe have some extra knowledge in something where I want to correct someone else, or like anything, any information or knowledge sharing, or just having a fun time engaging with people. And like it's valuable to these platforms. It would also be valuable to Hive, but my point is that here all these users get is comment, is like karma, and they get nothing valuable out of their time and energy they're spending here. Whereas if you could imagine, like if there were 1,700 unique voters on Hive, and they would let's like say maybe they've managed to earn like at least 100 Hive power themselves, that would already be a 17,000 Hive power votes altogether, if all of them only have 100 Hive power. So this comment would be at like, at least 10-20 cents for their time, their, energy, imagination, whatever, their input. It wouldn't be nothing. Like this 1,700 karma is literally nothing compared to getting some monetary value that someone like makes it worth your while, like it doesn't have to be from people's pockets, but Hive, you don't lose anything by voting comments up. You just direct a portion of the inflation towards them. So like why like imagine if this would happen on Hive instead. And it's kind of sad that not many know about Hive, and those who do, they're just looking to get like instantly get like a living wage. They're not, they're not okay with, like, I'm not saying everyone, but some people, they don't care about like making a few dollars per day. Like they either want 100, 200, or they're not gonna be interested at all, because we are in the early stages of cryptocurrency, mixed with a lot of stigma, bad reputation, scam allegations, a lot of all of that stuff. So like Reddit like loves this, as the platform. Like this is what keeps users here, users engaging and using the platform, and being part of the platform is gold to them, like literal gold. And we've also seen now with the rise of AI, that Reddit is one of the top sites where AI is scraping information from to become better, become smarter. And most of the time it's not going to get like the correct answers, because I don't know how it reads information from Reddit. But the curation system on Reddit is going to help it become better. So there's probably like a reason why most of the AI machine learning is using Reddit the most compared to Facebook or other websites. So not only is Reddit profiting from its users because of their activity, and from advertisers coming to the Reddit to their like platform and paying them money to show these ads to us as users, but they're also now selling user information in terms of what what they've been saying on the websites or doing on the websites. And that's, what's it called? It's like they're profiting in many, many ways, and even in the end, the users are not going to see any of that money, of that value that they've themselves created. And that's something that I feel is a little bit like backwards, and it's so Web 2, but it's also a bit sad that people aren't like giving others a try, like the majority, obviously, and that it's so hard to burst out of this like echo chamber or to get any real traction, and like the stigma that people just they just brush off anything new, anything related to crypto and blockchain, and they don't look at the real examples where we have like users who've been around a few years on Hive and are doing really well because of how Hive operates, how curators are incentivized to grow a network, so they're out there looking out for each other and for new users and making sure the stake is distributed evenly, both in terms of helping decentralization, but also in terms of making sure that users, that the retention stays so that they can like keep staying there, because like a bigger network means more demand for the token. And like if you like at some point, once we start to see a lot more user activity, there's also going to be like insane amount of opportunities in terms of things that we haven't even like taken advantage of the slightest, like ad revenue, sponsorships, companies buying stake or leasing stake to advertise their own products with it, like curate people who leave reviews about their products, the way we see projects, like Splinterlands curate their own players, like Zing Token curates some of the artists on Holozing. Like we haven't even like gotten a big sense of what can happen with the use case of high power and the way it garners attention if used correctly. And most importantly, what I wanted to talk about in this video was that, to value users for their time and attention and for information, for valuable input, not negative input, not, illegal input. Like we don't need to ban people. We can't like censor them, but we can at least make sure that they don't get rewarded for their bad input, compared to Twitter these days, that where it's just about like getting your minimum threshold to get monetized, to get impressions, and then it doesn't matter how you got those impressions. If you said like something crazy, if you said misinformation, lies, if you were being racist or misogynistic, or it doesn't seem like Twitter cares about it. They're all like freedom of speech. The speech doesn't matter what it is. You can say whatever gets you clout, whatever gets you attention to get your bag from the ad revenue share. So, I think Hive is like in a good position to accept a lot of people, to remove all of the boundaries of like minimum thresholds where anyone can come in and just be like, hey, this is me, I'm a unique user and I'm here, giving my input on doing human things, and I would like, a bonus for that, instead of just imaginary points or trying to reach some kind of like threshold cap to maybe make a few cents. So I think Hive is in a good position to reward people for being people, but also just reward them instantly, not have to like make them fight for it or invest too long, and then maybe you'll get something out of it eventually, unless your account gets banned by someone having a bad day, or like some kind of central authority like most of the platforms are controlled by, but instead everything will be out in the open and every stakeholder can decide who they want to reward, who they maybe don't want to earn as much rewards as they are, but everything would be open and public for everyone to see. So yeah, that was like, I'm probably getting too much into other things for now, so I think I'll just end it here. That was kind of my point. So if you have any, thoughts about that, I would welcome it in the comment section. And yeah, thanks for hearing me out. Hopefully some more videos here coming up soon. I'm gonna try and make it a bit less, depressing sounding, hopefully. But yeah, thanks for listening and see you next time.